Hey everyone, sorry I'm late. It's a tradition. Welcome to 49ers Coffee Talk. We're your host, Grant Cohn, Sybilla Bakzaza. I'm in my living room and I'm like, yeah, my show starts in about 5 minutes. I should go start. And it's like I don't have a boss, so I can just do whatever I want. And I figure, it's okay. It's kind of like, Dave Chappelle, if he says 10 o'clock, he comes out at like 10:15. Gotta make him wait. You gotta make him wait, Sybilla. Like this.
Yes, but see, you're just a gentleman, so let's tell them what really happened. I went to put on my setting spray, and it shot me with a ton of dots because it was defective, even though it was Urban Decay at $38 a bottle. Come on now.
Oh, shots fired.
Yes, Urban Decay, I'm coming for you. Anyway,
we're going to talk about the Rams game. We're going to preview it. But Sybil and I, it's kind of a weird part in the week. It's Wednesday morning, which means the next week in the NFL technically hasn't started yet. So we like to talk about the last game just a little bit more, even though it's 4 days ago, because, we focused on the punt return. I mean, the punt block and the key moments, but there are other things that kind of got lost in the shuffle, like what an amazing job D'Amico Ryans did. And I think we should probably give him some props because if we don't do it today, we'll never do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're kind of like the cleanup hitter in this lineup when it comes to this. We got the bases loaded with a lot of cool information. But I guess we'll start with D'Amico Ryans then.
I think we should.
Yeah, he one of the things that in the Dallas Cowboys game, for instance, and it really lit up the commentators. They really noticed it. It was his late adjustments to what Dak Prescott was doing, like guarding the sidelines and the middle and not getting them in the right order and things like that. And D'Amico looked a little bit lost in that game. So I'm always a little bit concerned when I see that. But, even the best of us make mistakes, and it's kind of how you adjust week to week. And in this particular game, I do think the 49ers, like the Rams, do have Aaron Rodgers' numbers. But at the same time, D'Amico Ryans and his defense got absolutely run over. I mean, Aaron Rodgers was on pace to hang at least 35 points in that game. And the way that D'Amico in a single drive was able to adjust his coverage, to bring help over the top. And to be honest with you, he could have done a whole lot better had Jimmy Ward not been, watching somebody on the sidelines during two of the plays. Remember where he was like looking at the running back while the receiver came right at him? And that's where those big completions came. So D'Amico did even better than we saw. And of course, that's something that he's going to go to Jimmy Ward about and say, hey, clean this up. And like from one week to the next, it will. So it's not just D'Amico who gets better. I think it's the players around him on his defense. My guess is he's really good in film review. His film study has to be something I would love to sit in on.
Yeah, I mean, I was so impressed. Like, on the first drive, you're thinking, oh, he has no plan to stop Davante Adams, just like the first time the Niners.
And he brings help on the next drive. Exactly.
The next drive. And I was thinking, he's going to have to figure this out at halftime, right? He's going to have to make some serious adjustments at halftime. And boom, he did it on the second drive. And it was almost like, were you sandbagging the Green Bay Packers? Like, did you just go real vanilla on the first drive and just see what like their plan was for Davante Adams and go, okay, now we're going to show you? It seemed like they were prepared. It's all of a sudden on the second drive, you had all these different exotic ways to double team. I was looking, you could see from the press box, and you would say it would look like, oh, you got one-on-one, Davante Adams. It's like baiting him. And then all of a sudden everything would shift out and you'd have all these brackets and stuff. That's what it looked like this. But I'm just saying, D'Amico was prepared. Exactly. And it almost seemed like he was like, I'm not going to show it on the first drive. I'll concede a touchdown. All that almost cost him the game because the Niners offense didn't score. And we're going to talk about that later. But yeah, I mean, he was prepared from the second drive on. It was masterful.
It was. And it's a really good thing that he did not make the halftime adjustments that most teams make, because had he allowed one more score, nobody would want to hear this show, because this would be Wednesday after the defeat and everyone else has already had their say. So it'd be painful by now. So D'Amico did. I mean, it was a do or die situation. It was very clutch what he did. But the thing I loved the most is that he took a dimension away from the Packers offense. And it's a dimension that the 49ers will have to take away from the Rams. And it's something that D'Amico did really well. And that was to disguise his help over the top. And I think that's actually what got Jimmy Ward out of position. Jimmy Ward was used to playing a particular scheme where he is seeing if the running back comes out of the backfield. But in this adjustment, D'Amico wanted Ward to keep his eyes on Davante Adams or whoever was coming out of the receiver positions. And that was just really well done to disguise his help over the top. And I feel like DeMeco wasn't just playing coverage, he was playing for interceptions as well. And I feel like that the Aaron Jones completion, had Jimmy Ward been in position, he could have either deflected it or maybe even made a play on the ball.
I agree. Yep, I agree.
So this game, honestly, should not have even... Now, Jimmy Ward redeems himself, but it was in a situation we should never be in. And it's just those little things we can clean up. And so DeMeco really did even better than what this game shows.
I mean, it's clear. Look at how much better he did the second time against the Packers than he did the first time against the Packers. I mean, that shows a guy who learns from his mistakes and improves. The one thing I want to point out, though, that worked in the Niners' favor was Marquez Valdez-Scantling didn't play, and he's not super important, but without him, Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he completed a pass to a wide receiver other than Devontae Adams. And once DeMeco figured out that was the only wide receiver he had to worry about, and he
didn't hit Lazard once?
Maybe once. One time.
I think it was once, yeah.
Lazard one time, but basically it was like,
but I get you, yeah.
Adams, all he's going to throw to was Jones, and that's not a passing attack. So DeMeco did do a good job, but there's another reason why he did so much better against the Packers this time than last time, because, I mean, Rodgers was throwing to like two guys most of the game, pretty much.
I think DeMeco Ryans is really good at figuring out when an opponent's defense is going to force the ball. And actually, it's something the Cowboys, I thought, did really well. They didn't force the ball to CeeDee Lamb. That surprised me a little bit. Some people thought they should have. So in this Packers game, it seems like if you're going to force the ball to someone, DeMeco is really good at saying, okay, fine. You want to beat me with your other 4 or 5 skill players? Go ahead.
But I will do it.
Blankets from you. And that is what I think. That's one reason why I think the Niners are so good against Rodgers and against the Rams, because they have feature offensive weapons. I think the Rams have more, but
it's still cut.
Devontae Adams and Cooper Kupp, that's the number 1 and 2 right there.
Absolutely. Both are all pros. All right, let's talk offense. So DeMeco, that was maybe his Mona Lisa. That was maybe his best performance yet in the divisional round in Lambeau. What a time. Kyle was interesting. His offense didn't score. And yet, as a game manager, he kind of made a ton of right decisions. How would you assess Kyle's performance, and why? First, let's start with this. Why couldn't the offense score in Green Bay? Answer that first. Why couldn't the offense score? What was the problem there?
Side comments. The Mona Lisa never got finished. So this year, let's hope we finish that. Let's put our final brush strokes for the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Kyle Shanahan really was a game manager. I really think that's one of the things that's been the knock on the leadership in late games against Kyle Shanahan. I even tweeted it. It was something that they were doing in about the end of the first half. As soon as the run started to work, they abandoned it. And it's just something that is a recurring theme. But I feel like for the first time with confidence, I can say Shanahan took what was given to him. And he realized, you know what? I've got this defense, just like I had in the Super Bowl. I don't need to dump this on my offense to light up the scoreboard. And I think he realized it's cold, it's snowing, it's Aaron Rodgers, it's about keeping him on the sidelines. And I just feel like Kyle Shanahan, like an Alex Smith style of football, really just started attacking the clock. And if there's one thing, the Niners should have won the first matchup. But they left, 42 seconds on the clock or something like that? Mm-hmm. And you're playing for a field goal. Those 42 seconds with timeouts, that might as well be 2.5 minutes. This time, Kyle Shanahan said, no. Going to take that clock away, going to put it in my offense's hands, and just manage the clock and the game and keep things on our side of the field, basically, in the ball in our hands. That was the number one thing I think Kyle Shanahan did. And it's just, to me, it puts a lot of my fears to rest if we make the Super Bowl, because it is this finishing of a game that requires more than just play calling. And Kyle Shanahan is a play caller. But in this game, he was a head coach. And that's one of the first times I think we can agree that he managed the game start to finish. It may not be pretty. It may not be a signature Shanahan high-powered win, but it doesn't have to be, because it's a dub. And that's all that matters at this point.
That's a really good point. I mean, he tried his best to win ugly, to not let Jimmy Garoppolo lose the game. I mean, Jimmy threw a pick on his 9th attempt. There's nothing Kyle can do about that.
That was a terrible interception.
It was a terrible interception. It was a bad decision.
Throw the ball away.
Throw the ball away. For once in your life, please throw the ball away. But no, what impressed me the most about what Kyle Shanahan did in this game, watching it again, the coach's film yesterday with Jack. So when I was there, it all happened fast. And when that last drive happened, I wasn't surprised because he's been doing it all year. But at the same time, like going into it, I'm thinking like, man, he's got nothing working today. What is he going to go to on this last drive? And then I didn't really register what he went to in the moment. But when I watched the film, the throw to Debo lined up in the backfield. He ran like a Texas route out of the backfield. I haven't seen them call that for Debo yet. You had that in your back pocket the whole year, and you waited this long, and it's like, that's some amazing restraint. I would have called that in the second quarter when things were going wrong, and maybe that was the wrong. You waited until like, all right, well, I got this ace up my sleeve. I might as well. It's like, so now he's Roger Craig in the offense, essentially. You're using him like Bill Walsh would have used Debo. Packers weren't prepared for that. I mean, I wasn't prepared for that. I was
they weren't.
Wide open.
And I think in Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo's defense, the drops by Ayuk or Jawan Jennings and Ayuk and George Kittle, but the back-to-back drops by Kittle and Jawan Jennings, those were huge.
Yes,
they really were, and they affected the scoreboard, and they affected the momentum of the 49ers offense. I really think that game, morally, if those two passes are caught, it's probably at least 16-10. It might have been 17-10 or something like that. It might have even erased one of the scores, the second score.
The way I look at it is, I think I'm convinced that there was divine intervention on the punt block, because come on. So the way I see it is God made up the God. I don't know why George Kittle dropped that touchdown pass, but God was like, that's not fair. It should have been a touchdown. So he came back and gave the Niners the touchdown that they should have had. It evened out.
The block as well. So the Green Bay Packers, for those of you who do not know, out of the 32 teams in the NFL on special teams, they are number 32. And they even talked about special teams going into this game. I believe Matt LaFleur said, we just can't let special teams beat us.
It did.
Right, which is actually really bad leadership, because it's kind of like, hey, I got a good team, but I have a group of guys that sucks. Yeah. And I just don't want them to beat us. That's just terrible.
And so you just sort of kind of created a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You know what he is? He's from this whole Shanahan tree, right? Yep. He's still doing that, hanging his guys out to dry, putting them under, throwing them under the bus, that sort of thing. Yep. He still does that. But regardless,
he's got that offensive coordinator mentality. Like, dude, those are your guys. That's your special team. And if they
and you pick them and you train them and you coach them,
you should coach them better, man. Sorry.
Exactly. And now here's the thing: they were trying to focus on the guys from the outside. Who blocks the guys from the outside? They never get there, and they let the guy on the inside go. Now, the only one that matters on special teams is the guy in the middle. He's the only one that has the straight route to the holder. And that's the one guy they let go. And you can see they part like the Red Sea, and there comes it's like Moses, okay? I mean, just Jimmy Ward came there and said,
God came down. I was there.
Knocked that ball down.
Yeah, it was God. You should have heard people laughing in the press box, because there's a lot of tension in the press box. Not that we're rooting, but we all want to know what's going to happen. And when the game is decided,
it
was so stupid. It was like, are you okay? All right. That's what we're writing about today. It was really, really an all-time moment, man.
Plus, the reason the Packers were there was a gaffe by Jimmy Ward, where he really blew up himself on his own coverage. And then it's like, like Kramer would say, thou who healeth can, make it ill. But in the reverse order now. So it's just, I'm happy for Jimmy Ward, because he's just thinking to himself, damn, why was I staring at the running back? Why wasn't I playing safety? And then all of a sudden he's like, I got this. So, that's the thing. He still has to make that play.
To reward the Niners like that, they're doing something right and the Packers are doing something wrong. Because I don't understand. That's straight up karma. I've never seen anything like that. There's no reason the Niners are still alive right now. They really should be.
But you remember on the game-winning field goal, they had 10 men on the field.
They had 10 men. The Niners should be eliminated right now.
They had 9 guys on the line.
I love this team. I want to keep watching Debo.
Yeah, it was terrible. They had the 10th guy in the coverage position.
Mm-hmm.
So they really only had 9 people on the line.
Yeah, that's great. That's a really good job, Green Bay. I think that's a
fitting
way for
Matt LaFleur, it's like 1, 2, you have fingers. You have 10 of them most of the time. So you can just, I know he does. So just count them off. The arithmetic is really suffering in Green Bay.
See, that's what Kyle should have said in the offseason. He was trying to take Aaron Rodgers off his hands and be like, look, dude, you don't know what to do with this guy. You're going to lose this year. You're going to be the number 1 seed. You're going to have a week to prepare for us, and you're going to lose because of special teams. Can you just stop wasting Aaron Rodgers' career? Come on.
Yeah, I will send you a nice bottle of Cabernet Sauvignon from Napa Valley, and you give me Aaron Rodgers, right?
That's like when you're trying to take your buddy's girlfriend in high school. It's like, man, look, she's out of your league, dog. You don't know she's gonna leave you. Come on, man. I mean, she's gonna break your heart, man.
We'll see if Matt LaFleur grows, but I mean, to not be able on the final play of your season, not even count the number of guys going onto the field.
Fire him. fire him. If Aaron Rodgers retires or leaves or something, LaFleur's not going to last.
I mean, I don't think there are any good schools in Wisconsin. You know, I think mathematics is something they all struggle with, but you know.
Oh, hold on. So Lucky Louise coming through with a real generous donation, $50.
Damn.
Grant, I 100% agree with you on Jimmy. But here's what irks me. Everyone loves mentioning his missed pass to Sanders in the Super Bowl, yet no one mentions how Kaepernick threw the same damn fade to Crabtree in the Super Bowl and NFC Championship and missed 2 times. Yeah, I mean, to me, they're sort of interlocked in Niners history and guys who got to the finish line and dropped the baton.
Yeah, that's a really good comment. A little history there, I guess, as well. But yeah. Kaepernick was a gunslinger. He did not have a lot of touch, and that's just something we knew with his game. I mean, I just don't think that wasn't the kind of play call. The fact that we put him in that position to begin with was wrong. With Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, I mean, he's one of those guys who can stink for 3 quarters and then come up with a 4th quarter golden drive. And he's so stressful. He is so stressful.
But he's not going to hit Sanders down the middle and you see Kyle doesn't even call that anymore for Jimmy. It's like
exactly, no. And that is limiting. That's limiting. Basically, one of the things they say on defense is keep the ball in front of you. And like, for instance, that's why the Buccaneers lost to the Rams. They let a 7-and-a-go route cross over each other, and they didn't follow it. And the next thing you know, it's game over. It's just that you got to keep the ball in front of you. And Jimmy Garoppolo keeps the ball in front of the defense for them. And so it relies on the individual skill sets. His quick release, yes, is a really big thing. His zip is important, but it definitely limits the 49ers offense. But again, they are a run-first team. They have to be all about clock management. I think Kyle Shanahan has to be comfortable with scoring 20 points a game and winning, because that's really how the 49ers offense is built. And it seems so strange when you have George Kittle and Deebo Samuel and Ayuk and Mitchell. You think to yourself, this is 34 points a game average. No, it should be 20 points a game and run the clock out.
Well, I mean, if they had Steve Young or Jeff Garcia, they would be scoring 35 points a game. I see people saying that now Jimmy Garoppolo is a better quarterback in Niners pantheon than Jeff Garcia. If Jeff Garcia were on this team, they'd be the number 1 offense in the league. It wouldn't even be close. Jimmy, they would throw the ball down. I'm just saying, he never had a team like this. He never had a defense like this.
Jeff was a game manager with an arm. That's what it came down to. And he could move.
Jeff 3 touchdown passes in a year, twice in a row. I mean, Jeff Garcia was a Pro Bowler Jeff Garcia was an MVP candidate. When he was at his best, the only quarterbacks better than him in the league were Brett Favre, Kurt Warner. I mean, McNabb, maybe.
Top 5 at his time.
I mean, Peyton Manning, maybe, but Peyton Manning was young. Jeff Garcia was damn good. Anyway, I don't know how we got in that topic, but Kaepernick and Jimmy are pretty much intertwined in their accomplishments in Niners history until Jimmy wins a Super Bowl. Then he can differentiate himself. I believe a healthy Kaepernick on a Shanahan offense would have been amazing. Do you think Trey can be as good as Kaepernick was in his first years? I think he can be better. I think he's much more elusive than Kaepernick.
I don't think it's just a matter of the skill set, though. I think it's a matter of the coaches as well. I think that Trey Lance is going to get unleashed by Kyle Shanahan versus the restrictions that are trying to turn Kaepernick into a pocket passer. You know, they kind of let Kaepernick go first in his first couple of years, but then G-Row tried to turn him into a pocket passer.
They're like, okay, enough of that. You're going to have to play. It's like, all right, well, good luck.
Right, exactly. A racehorse who doesn't race all of a sudden.
Yeah, pretty much.
But Trey Lance, I think, is in good hands. And I think the 49ers are good at developing players. I think even Deebo, as great as he is, I think there's a degree of development. And, you know, he's a player we didn't have in the last Super Bowl. He is so much better than he was. And I think Trey Lance will be a facet of this growth on offense that we see as well.
Here's the one thing I worry about for Trey. Kaepernick was replacing Alex Smith, who fans frankly didn't like that much. He lost a lot. You know, I mean, it wasn't his fault, but he was on some bad teams. Jimmy is different. Jimmy hasn't lost a lot. Jimmy has this like real strong cult fan base. And if Trey replaces him, there's going to be like a 35 to 45% of the fan base that's bitter about it and picks at all of his flaws. And it's going to be hard for him, kind of like it was hard for Carson Wentz in Philly after Nick Foles left.
No one likes a loser. That's what it comes down to. But yeah, it's the thing is too, like Kaepernick was coming into a San Francisco revival. Yep. So I mean, we basically, since the days of Steve Young, relatively, as far as championships, we stink. Yeah. By the time Kaepernick, we've been stinking for over a decade as a franchise. So when he comes into that, he's a breath of fresh air.
And
Now
Smith was the face of the stink for a while, right? And then finally,
exactly.
it's like, all right, man, thanks for everything.
Trey Lance will do to win the whole fan base over. It's win a Super Bowl or two, because Garoppolo is on the verge of a second, and he got to one. So Trey Lance, he can't just get to a Super Bowl. He's gonna have to win one.
He's in more in the Steve Young position, where very talented. A lot of the fan base is excited to watch him play, but you're replacing. I'm not comparing Jimmy Garoppolo to Joe Montana, but the way Jimmy Garoppolo fans love him is like that. I mean, they look at him as the savior. They look at him as King Arthur. I mean, the guy who brought the team out of the desert and into the promised land, both of them, the golden boy. So it's tough. It's a tough situation. It was tough for Steve. He always talked about the monkey on his back. There's already a monkey on Trey Lance's back. Huge. Thank you, Gerald. All Niner says, I don't know if you've talked about this, but what do you think about the ticketing restrictions? Will there still be a lot of Niner fans there somehow? They ended that. I mean, you can get your tickets now, I think, but it was for a day.
Yeah, that's an absolute garbage thing to do. It shows how terrified LA is, and I love it. And you know what? The thing is, San Francisco, we don't blow our money on drugs like LA, so we're able to buy tickets.
Wait a second, but the way I look at it, I lived in LA, and I know how this goes. Like, this is something they had to do. It's something they had to do, because otherwise, and also, it's not going to have an effect because no one cares about football in LA. So, you restricted it for a day?
I feel like our fan base would have just bought tickets somehow anyway.
Yeah, it's still going to be mostly
kind of like, it would have been sweet because it would have been Rams fans selling their tickets to us, or it would have been people who invested in the tickets selling it that way. So I feel like the Niners, we will show out. The faithful.
It's still going to be Niner fans. No one cares about football in LA. It's way down the list of things. It's like basketball, the Dodgers, Universal Studio, the beach, looking at the wall, and then football.
Looking at the wall.
A lot of the media is saying the top landing spots for AR-12 is SF. What kind of package could SF offer for Rodgers? Sybilla, would you want this?
All right, let's go with the first part of that question. Rodgers he wants to win, and I think he feels he can win in San Francisco. He knows the weapons. He knows our team intimately, of course. I think he's comfortable with our system, so it's about what we can give to him. I don't see how we're going to get out of it without a first-round pick, because basically Green Bay, by dealing him...
First-round pick.
What did I say?
The Niners don't have a first-round pick, so how do they... I mean, you're right, of course.
Yeah. That's
the conundrum here,
I'm alluding to. Exactly.
That's
the conundrum, that we don't have. Because Green Bay is going to need a first-round pick, because basically they are mortgaging their future as far as saying we are now in a rebuild. And what did Aaron Rodgers say? I don't want to be part of a rebuild. And I don't blame him. He's getting older by football standards, so he has to go to a contender.
So real quick, who are the players in the 49ers who are worth a first-round pick? Who are the people in the 49ers organization? Bosa, Debo.
I would say
Kittle, Lance.
Warner.
Armstead, because of the last 3 games?
No, I don't think so.
It's been 3 games. And then Kyle, but yeah, there's Kyle. So that's six people you can choose from. I don't think they're going to trade Kyle right now.
Going to be one of them.
Kyle's won 9 of 11, so he's looking pretty good. But if you had to pick someone, I guess Trey Lance would be the natural, right? You're trading for Aaron Rodgers. Although Aaron Rodgers is almost 40, maybe you want to keep Trey Lance and develop him until he's 35.
And that's the thing, too, is if I'm Aaron Rodgers and they trade for me, that it has to be next year I win, because they're down first-round picks. They're not going to get better. They're going to lose a player or two. They're not going to be able to reload. Now, I think the 49ers, I don't think
you want to join a team that just traded Debo away. I'm just saying. I think the whole idea was like, I want to play with that dude, right?
Right. I think Aaron Rodgers, he's used to playing with defenses that lose. Like, as far as he's had some good ones, but he's had some bad ones. I mean, he's played behind a...
He had a real good one this year. He blew it. Good job, Aaron.
Yeah, but back in the Kaepernick days, I mean, that defense just...
Terrible. They couldn't run. Yeah, you're right. This was a good defense.
So that's the thing, is I think Aaron Rodgers would be more comfortable if we trade a Bosa or a Warner. Now, if I was him, I would never want to see Bosa play against me again. So I would go to the Niners. I'd be like, can you get rid of Fred Warner? Let's keep...
if you could trade a middle linebacker for Aaron Rodgers, that'd be great. Absolutely. Considering the fact that Alshire is really good, Greenlaw is really good.
Warner is a great player, but he's not inexpendable.
Right. I mean, we just listed 6 guys that are worth the first-round pick, and that would probably be the least painful one.
Bosa, we lose the big motor that covers our
You don't wanna
secondary
trade
loss.
Bosa. No.
So
You
that
don't want to
happened.
trade Bosa at this time. No.
Right.
No. Especially for a guy who's
It's
40.
gonna be like an even trade.
If
So
I were trading Bosa, I would trade Bosa for the first pick in the draft. I mean, I would want someone who's I want the next Bosa if I'm trading Bosa. I wouldn't trade him for a 40-year-old quarterback who'll be on the team for 1 year. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, because I feel like Bosa is worth the first. He's that good, right? He's worth it. Yeah. I mean, his stock hasn't gone down since he got drafted. So,
second part of the question, Sybilla, would you want this? No. And there are two reasons. We'll throw the moral objectionable reasons out the window because, like, I like a lot of the guys on this team. I would prefer to lose with them than win with someone like Rodgers. I like the culture that has been established. And this prima donna Jeopardy hosting wannabe doesn't fit our culture.
I can't stand him. I really don't like him. I don't like Kevin Durant because of that 2 years that he was here that I was exposed. I felt like his whole thing was kind of whack, and I feel like Aaron Rodgers is Kevin Durant times 100, man. Just so bitter for no reason, and like, ugh. Yeah, I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to.
It's amazing because really until the last year or two, no one had a problem with Aaron Rodgers. Not really. It's just his personality has come apart. He's always been a little bit of a drama queen. At the same time, I just wouldn't want that. So culturally, not a fit. Also, the 49ers are a unit. It's why with a squad with a bunch of no-names rotating in and out, they're able to defeat these big ball clubs. And I just feel like I would not really want to upset what the Niners are building here. And I think the loss of someone like Fred Warner cannot be understated. It's why Jimmy Garoppolo is so respected. It's not that he's great. It's that he is loved. And I just think that disrupting this team is not a good idea.
All right, we got to pick up the pace a little bit. I got to jet down to the South Bay for my weekly COVID test. Because that's what you got to do to cover the Niners. Because anyway, I don't want to talk about it. Let's talk about this game coming up. Niners-Rams 3. It's like a boxing match in the first two. And it's the same result every time. One dude gets knocked out in like the 8th round. But now we're going to watch it again. And we're thinking, is this guy not going to get knocked out finally by the foot? What do you think? How is this going to go? Because I feel like the last one was a decision. You know what I mean? It was overtime. It came down to the wire. Are the Rams learning something about the 49ers here?
Well, there's one big factor that they have working for them, and that's OBJ. When he first came in that game that we beat them, the last one, he was a non-factor. I should say the first one. He was a non-factor. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like when OBJ first came in, the Niners had the benefit of Matthew Stafford not really having any chemistry with him. Cooper Kupp, best wide receiver in the NFL, best route runner in the NFL. We will have to have safety help. We have to do to him what we did to Davante Adams. And I think we can do that. I think we can hold him under 100 yards. But the difference between Green Bay and the Rams, they don't have a backup option like OBJ. There are very few teams who do. I think we stack up well with Tebow and Ayuk. But as far as our defense goes, OBJ is going to get some looks. Matthew Stafford has a bigger arm.
Jefferson's a factor in their offense, as is Tyler Higbee. They really have 4 targets in their passing game as opposed to Green Bay.
Fred Warner on Tyler Higbee, not to tackle him, but to cover him. I definitely am comfortable with that. Al-Shaair and Greenlaw, I think Tyler Higbee will have a couple catches, but I think they match up well. But it's really the 2 receivers. It's like pick your poison, and it's Cooper Kupp we have to take away. OBJ is the one who has to beat us in this game. It needs to be on him. And if he has a great game, they will beat us.
I haven't seen him have a great game in a long time. He doesn't seem like a great player anymore. He seems like a good player, but not a great player.
If he posts 100 yards, the Niners lose.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So that's where it is for me. Also, they really need to get after this ball. Rams on ball control versus the 49ers is an oxymoron. So I just feel like the 49ers have really got to play this ball hard.
Let me tell you where it is for me, though, real quick, though.
Yes.
Stafford during the season against the Niners was a joke. He threw 4 picks in 2 games against the Niners. He led the league in interceptions in the regular season. Now, all of a sudden, in the playoffs, he hasn't thrown any picks. He's raised his game. He's protecting the football. He's doing all the things Niner fans would like Jimmy Garoppolo to do, raise his game in big moments. And we've never seen Stafford in big moments before because the Lions never make the playoffs. So it's interesting to see that he's actually kind of a primetime player. Can he keep it up? Because he's been, in my opinion, freaking awful against the 49ers with these interceptions. If he doesn't throw picks, if you don't throw an interception against the Niners, you really have a chance. It's going to go down to the last play. If you don't throw a pick. That's how the Niners play. They are mistake prone themselves on offense. So as long as you don't turn the ball over, pretty much have a good chance. So I don't know. I want to see what Stafford can do. He's played well in the playoffs. He has no run game. And the Niners have a really good pass rush. So we'll see. We shall see.
Cam Akers is the only reason that the Rams almost lost to Brady.
Cam Akers, 2 fumbles,
payroll or something. I've never seen a guy that in the fourth quarter runs with the ball out here.
Dude.
Cam Akers is I mean,
what the hell?
A decent person, but he's Cam the arsonist for them.
That's what I'm saying. Like the Rams have
in this game.
It's not that they have a bad. They don't have. It's not they have no run game. They have a liability of a run game. I mean,
right. Well, that's where the Niners
are waiting to happen.
Kitted to beat the Rams in the way they are kitted to beat the Packers. Stafford is a little bit more mobile, but he's not a huge danger.
He's not mobile enough against this team. Nope.
Exactly. And the other
as soon as the pass rush closes in around him, it's like he's like, oh, I'm 34. Oh, what am I doing here?
They have a hybrid guy like Warner, who if he decides to step up out of the pockets and Warner is playing any kind of shadow coverage or anything like that, or he's spying, the Niners are really good to keep pressure on him. So that's the thing. But back to the offensive side of the ball for us, Von Miller had a good game. That concerns me. Mm-hmm. Von Miller and Aaron Donald have what Shannon Sharp calls the best pass rush in football.
Yeah.
And at this point in the season, that might be true. It might even be better than ours. So Trent Williams playing really big. Absolutely.
The run defense is so weak, though. Like, I don't think they can do what the Packers did. The Packers
have
big guys.
And I just respect Von Miller, so I have to push him out of this. But with the exception of Aaron Donald, I don't think anyone lifts weight on that defensive side of their team.
But even Aaron Donald is not a particularly great run defender. He's like 280 pounds. Once you combo block him,
too strong for his own good, and he loves to explode off the line. His thing is like kill the quarterback. And I love that about his game. But definitely, the Niners
can take himself out of run plays easily. Yeah. Anyway, I
run the ball.
I don't think they can do it. Like the Packers have Kenny Clark, who's an all-pro nose tackle. He's a great nose tackle. They have Devondre Campbell, who's an all-pro linebacker. Rams don't have an all-pro linebacker. They're not going to limit the Niners to 3-point whatever yards a carry.
Yes. Yeah. If we just here's the thing, like Stafford will not defeat the 49ers defense on every drive. And as long as Kyle Shanahan goes, you know what? 24 points is enough to win this game. It is. As long as they run the clock out. They just need to run. That's all they need to do. They are stronger. I have to give Green Bay props on one thing. I tweeted this. I was like, damn, the 49ers just found the one team in the NFL that's physically stronger than them. Aaron Jones made a joke out of the 49ers defense. Every time they put 2 hands on him, he would carry them for 3 yards. That's not going to happen in this Rams game. They don't have the ability to match up with the physicality of the 49ers.
No, they don't. Kyle has learned to coach from behind. Thoughts? I mean,
yes. Here's the Niners get down early. Why abandon your game plan? Just stick to this run-first offense.
That's true.
And next thing you know, you have a tie game. And next thing you know, you have the final drive of the game. So that's exactly what happened in the Packers game. So perhaps, yes, I would agree with that.
True Sav Comedy says Jim benefits from the halo effect. What's the halo effect?
I would assume the skill around him amplifies and covers his weakness. Is that what you mean?
Hold on. It says the halo effect is a type of cognitive bias in which our overall impression of a person influences how we feel and think about their character. Essentially, your overall impression of a person, he's nice, impacts your evaluations of a specific trait. Right. He's also smart. Bingo. Yeah, it's like he's nice, he's professional. He's got a nice smile. He's not a diva. He's not a me guy. It's like you like everything that he stands for. So you're prone to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Aaron Rodgers is good and hated. Jimmy Garoppolo is not that great and loved. But you know what? He deserves a lot of the love he gets because he is a nice guy. And it's just before the game. They wanted to talk about him. What did he want to talk about? Debo.
Yeah.
That's why you have to like him.
Well, I never heard of the halo effect before, but thank you for introducing that. That is exactly what he benefits from.
Sean said is right. I like that comment. That's a good point. The Rams are not an LA team. So, and they've had
they used to be a very long time ago, but like people in LA, most people in LA aren't from LA. So they're either fans of like the Bears or the Giants or the Jets or the Cowboys or wherever the hell they're from, because it's a transplant city most of the time. And if they are from LA, then they don't
That
care
is
about
actually-
football because it's not a football town. I'm just saying, like the Raiders and Rams left a long time ago. So yeah, I don't know what they thought. Their fans are in St. Louis. That's where you won your Super Bowl. You were terrible in LA. What is the Niners cap space? I don't know. Here, go to overthecap.com. Check it out, man. That's how you do. That's how you do. Or Spot Track. That's how you do, man. I don't know.
Where's
We're not there yet.
Tim?
I don't get why Kyle wouldn't want a playoff possible Super Bowl win with a rookie quarterback who's not ready on his resume. What is a bigger accomplishment, winning with a rookie or winning with Jimmy? Winning with Jimmy. Are you kidding? Winning with Jimmy and his 5% interception rate would be unprecedented. That is a higher degree of difficulty. It would be way easier if they had Trey out right now.
And that also speaks to, again, the run-first offense.
Yeah.
That's really what bandages this wound. If you put Jimmy in a shootout every game, he'd throw 3 picks.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, this is the highest degree of difficulty, winning with essentially your backup quarterback. I'm sorry. Do you think Ward still holds that grudge against OBJ for the hit after the pick? Yes. He's still mad at DeAndre Hopkins for their fight in training camp like 8 years. Yes. And I like that about Ward.
I do. I think as a safety, you have to have a chip on your shoulder, and it's your job to inflict pain on the opponent's offense. I mean, you're the one who gets a running start. You're the one who sits there and can blindside them. You're the one that gets the legal hit on a defensive receiver. So I hope Ward, honestly, that's the kind of football. I'm a martial artist. I'm not happy in a football game unless somebody gets put out. So I hope Ward gets one of them out. I really do. I love that kind of football.
Any chance you can get a veteran ticket to a game? No. My neighbor is a Rams fan, and I just want to tick him off. Love the coverage. I can't get tickets and stuff like that. I wish. I can't get extra credentials. I can't get tickets. I wish I could. Maybe one day I'll have that kind of pull in life. But so far, I'm just a dude with a YouTube channel.
Kyle Shanahan. Be like,
Can I have a
Kyle,
ticket?
would you like to give tickets to someone like me?
Oh, I think he would. It's my birthday today, and all I want is a Niners Super Bowl win. Well, I will talk to the Niners.
Bon anniversaire. Happy birthday to you.
Tony just needs a Super Bowl win one time. Can you please come out?
We are here for Tony. So Niners, now you have a reason to win.
Can you please come out eating lamb chops live after the game if we win, troll?
I love lamb chops. Yes, I like it.
I like lamb chops
You know,
too.
Actually, one of my cosplays, I have these ram horns, actually.
Good week for that.
Do something with that. I gotta bring the horns on a chain. You know,
all right,
blood and everything, rip them out, you know?
All right, this is our last topic. Then I got to run down to San Jose, which I've done thousands of times in the last 10 years. It's a fun drive. I can do it with my eyes closed, but I keep my eyes open for safety.
That's
see what I'm saying?
Very logical.
Absolutely. All right. So look, we talk about the secondary.
You don't drive that way. So
no. Thanks. We've been talking about the secondary all year. You're a former safety yourself. You're a secondary enthusiast. It was a liability in my eyes coming into the season. Now, I don't see it as a liability, and it's like, is it good? I mean, Dante Johnson started the game. They gave up freaking 10 points and won. Josh Norman came in the game, was fine. Like, what?
Yes.
What? How? And why? And why?
All right, well, let's go with Dante Johnson first. First off, I love the dude knows he's limited, but he always plays with spice. He's humble. He does what he's asked. And you know what? Like that first reception he gave up, he was ripping at the ball. He thought he had it. I just like the fact that he sticks to the fundamentals. If you're not athletic, if you're not particularly fast or strong, there is something you can do. Fundamentals and mechanics. And I feel like both Josh Norman and him, Norman doesn't have the ability to man coverage anymore. It's just not his style. With the exception of that play against Devontae Adams, which was just brilliant. He was still making up for a mistake he made. It's just his long arms managed to get in there. But both of them are being given help. It's a very zone heavy. Even when they play man, they still have like help over the top. Mm-hmm. So it's like a man to zone fluctuation that DeMeco Ryans, he plays with these two. And I love that. It's like situational football, they call that. So I really think that it's like accountability. Every corner we have is accountable to his assignments. Yeah, he might make mistakes, but as this unit has evolved into the postseason from when Aaron Rodgers basically used Josh Norman and Dante Johnson to lose us that game, they have turned that around to a strength. And that's just basically, look, you can't man coverage, but as long as you play your zone effectively and you get a little bit of contact at the line of scrimmage, Emmanuel Mosley comes back and suddenly this is a unit. And I think the collective IQ of the 49ers secondary is very high.
Yep. I think there's something else going on too.
Lights out.
To me, this is reminding me a lot of the Vic Fangio defense from 10 years ago in the sense that it has the ability to stifle the run without a safety in the box. I mean, back when they had Patrick Willis, Navarro Bowman, Justin Smith, they could stop the run, really shut it down with 7 guys. And that allowed the Niners to play 2 deep safeties all the time, and you never saw them get burned deep, even though their DBs technically weren't weren't great. They weren't DBs that other teams would want. Would be like, well, that guy's going to change. No. But on the Niners, they were never put in bad situations. They were always really good against the pass. I kind of see like that right now. You have Ward and Tart back most of the time. You really don't get an opportunity to pick on either cornerback. The best you can do is try to pick on K1 for 10, 15 yards here and there, but
he might
no more big plays.
No
more big plays. Yeah, so good luck.
The other thing that's I really want to – have you noticed that Mosley, E-Man, has been jumping out on the stat sheet with tackles?
He hits hard.
Hard. Yes,
hard.
I love that. You know what
he's like the skinniest little dude on the team, right? But he hits hard.
He's like K1 Williams. The guys are pound for pound very strong. You can tell.
K1 hits so hard. There was one in this last game, right in the dude's face, right in the flat. Wow, K1 is not messing around.
You know what they are? They actually, the two of them really remind me of special warfare or special forces in the military. You get guys of varying sizes, but generally speaking, they're like 5'6" to like 5'10", and they weigh anywhere from 150 to 190 pounds, and yet they can front squat like 400 pounds. And it's just like the muscle density, the regimen, the ability to have explosivity. Those two are real athletes. I love that for them. I respect that.
Absolutely. Yep. And what's interesting is the core of this Niners secondary for the last 5 years has been Jimmy Ward, Jaquaski Tart, K1 Williams, the middle of it. And none of them like individually is elite, although Jimmy Ward's borderline, but they're all at least B+ players, borderline A- players. And it's good. It's always good to be strong up the middle, right?
Absolutely. Let me ask you one last question. What is Emery Thomas' status?
I don't know.
And now here's the follow-up question. If he comes back, would you play him?
Okay. No, let me answer the question. This is good. To me, what they did was they said, you didn't practice last week. Certain players on this team, we want playing if they don't practice. Trent Williams. Emery Thomas isn't one of them. I think that's what we saw. You're a rookie.
That's wise.
You're a rookie. We like you, but only if you've practiced all week. So if he doesn't practice this week and he's questionable, I don't think he probably wouldn't. I mean, that's 2 weeks now that you haven't practiced. I don't think they trust him like that. You're a rookie.
They don't trust Trey Lance, so they shouldn't trust Emery Thomas. That's
the way I look at it. Plus, you got Dante freaking Johnson over here locking people up.
Well, I don't think that Dante Johnson and Josh Norman are being asked to play corner. They're being asked to play a spot defense, basically. And then you got Jimmy Ward and Tart. Tart had a good game, by the way. Between the two, Tart was my better safety in that game.
Well, yeah, Jimmy Ward made his play on special teams. On defense, Jimmy Ward gave up the one long play, and he
was caught looking into the backfield twice. And by the way, as Aaron Rodgers was going through his reads, he goes straight to Ward, makes eye contact with him, loads up and throws. He saw that Jimmy Ward was looking in the backfield.
And who ran down Aaron Jones on that play and prevented a touchdown?
That's why good safeties are looking like this. Like you don't stare like Jimmy Ward. You scan, and it's just like Aaron Rodgers is, for all character aside, he's interesting to watch. He's fun to watch.
Yes. All right, I got to get down to the South Bay. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed our coffee talk. I'll be back late night.
By the way, just want to say this. I have the Niners beating the Rams.
Okay. How much? What's the score?
I'm going to go 26-20.
Okay. 20. All right.
Yes.
All right.
I have it almost being a one-score lead. I know it's a big thing, but I feel like the Niners don't kick a game-winning field goal here. I think they put it into cruise control late and run this clock out.
26-20. That's Sybilla's prediction. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll be back late night. See you then.